Hello. Hi. I'm not sure if we have anybody here. Look, there's the Chelsea-nator. Chelsea, say hi. She doesn't care. She is on some anxiety meds because we had to go to the doctor this morning, didn't we? Didn't we, huh, Bubba's? Uh, Unfortunately, she is going to have surgery. Yikes. So we're in like prep mode now, getting everything ready. Her surgery is May 22nd, I believe. So in a couple weeks. So probably that week I will not be going live at all, just to tend to this cute little soul here. All right, let's do a little checky poo. See who's in the house here on Wednesday. We have Yurika. Hey, Yurika. Hey, Florentina and Khalid. So nice to see you. Yes, it has been a while. Welcome back, Florentina. Hey, Khalid. This is fantastic. So, just a heads up, Buttercup. I'll probably have to repeat this if more people come into the space here, but today will have to be a shorter session because I have some clients that I have to get to. So I need to make sure that I arrive on time for them. So just a heads up, if anybody's going to super chat me today for a psychic question, please make sure you ask the question and you super chat me by 12:30 p.m. Any super chats that come in after 12:30 p.m. will be considered donations, which I will appreciate, but I won't be really doing super chats past 12:30 just to make sure I can wrap up on time and get to my clients. Khaled's asking, how am I feeling? I'm on my way. So I'm really happy about that. I actually want to know how you guys are doing because I'm curious to see if you're experiencing the same thing that I'm experiencing, which is like a lot of nervousness, right? Hey, Sunflower, nice to see you. A lot of nervousness in the body and also in the brain. So it's a bit more amplified and exacerbated than normal. So I'll just give a minute or so just so you guys can write down in the chat section whether that's something you're experiencing or not as well. Like a heightened sense of anxiousness, I guess you can call it. It has been happening to me as I continue on my evolution, just like all of you guys. Yeah, Sunflower, you've been feeling that, huh? A lot of us right now, if we're really sensitive and empathic, which if you're watching this channel, you've worked with me in any way or you plan on working with me, you're most likely a spiritual empath, high sensitivities. Let's see here. Yeah, you've been feeling that, Sunflower, and you thought it was the retrograde. Yeah, Khaled saying very anxious. Yeah. A lot of us, because we're sensitive, we're picking up on energy as an outside influence, right? That's the whole thing about being an empath, right? It's not just about like what our sensory data is processing through the human brain. It's also other magnetic fields that are coming in and influencing ours. And it's very challenging. Hold on, Florentina, someone I used to date came back to me. I'm feeling anxious. He's a bit hot and cold. I'm wondering if you have any advice. Well, Florentina, for a personal question, I'd be more than happy to do that. I answer personal questions like that through with a super chat. So please feel free to make a super chat. There's no minimum or maximum. And I can go ahead and look into and zoom in on your energy. Okay. So generally speaking, what's going on is this. I want to like just make sure that I explain it in a way that is, hey, Asher, so nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. that is tangible for the brain and understandable for the human side of us to understand, because the non-human aspect of us, the non-physical aspect, totally gets it. Yes, Florentina, if you want to donate through PayPal, you're more than welcome to. You would do it to info at terriehuberman.com. Yeah, Khalid is saying he had to do a lot of replay of the meditation to feel grounded. Exactly, exactly. So here's what's going on in the cosmos. First of all, there has been a lot of what I call astro weather, right? So yes, retrograde eclipses. I think they're actually like 3 or 4 planets in retrograde. I'm not a professional astrologer, so that's not going to be my strength or my forte, and I'm not going to give you advice based on that. But what I am is an energist, right? So what's happening is that there is an excessive amount of light waves coming from the cosmos, right? And so it's coming and it's hitting planet Earth. So Earth's magnetic field. We live on Earth. So therefore, it's going to even penetrate our own electromagnetic field. And the thing is about us humans who wear Earth suits, which is you and me, and even our animals, what's happening is that we are made of density and light, mass and matter and light. Hey, Sarah, so nice to see you. So, what's happening is that there's mass amounts of light coming into our human body. Now, since our body is made of both light and mass or matter, what we'll call density, kind of picture it like this, right? We have a whole bunch of like darkness, which isn't really necessarily darkness. It's just a different electromagnetic frequency. It's just a different frequency. So you have this light coming into the body, and it's coming in very fast. So this density moves a lot slower, and the light is coming into the human body a lot faster. And so what it's doing is it's pushing and it's nudging and it's breaking down this density. And in that process is where it's creating or causing excess energy in the body. Excess energy in the body is going to show up as anxiety. Makes a sense, guys? So the extra amount or the amplified amount of um, anxiety that you're feeling is coming in because there's a lot of light coming in from the cosmos and from the universe, okay? The multiverse, whatever you want to call it. So that light is basically messing with our electromagnetic field, and it's creating a lot of excess energy that we need to integrate, right? So, Sunflower is saying when she understands. I see. When will it stop? LOL. Well, girlfriend, and every other human who's watching, it doesn't stop. It never stops. What happens is we learn how to integrate and transmute and alchemize that energy. And some of us do it faster than others. And when you are aware and you know how energy works, you know how to work the energy so that you can integrate it into your system faster, quicker, easier, and way less painful. And so, like, that's what I do on the side when I'm working with people one on one, in a longer term, is like I'm teaching them about energy and how to use that energy actually to the advantage, than not to the advantage. Okay, Florentina, I got your PayPal. So I'm going to use this as a segue. I'm going to go ahead and answer Florentina's question. And I am going to let everybody know, because there are more people in here now than when we first started. If you do want me to answer any psychic question that you have, in addition to it being a super chat or any type of donation to PayPal, not a problem, but I'm only accepting them until 12:30. If you make a super chat or a PayPal, whatever donation, whatever, after 12:30 it's considered a donation. I will not be answering your psychic questions, and that's because I have clients that I have to get to, so I have to make sure I wrap up with enough time to answer everybody's questions and to get to my clients. Okay, so that's the only reason, for today. If you do super chat me after 12:30, I just want you to know, 12:30 California time. I just want you to know that it will be considered a donation, which I definitely do appreciate, but you will not have your question answered. Okay. All right. So let's go to Florentina. Someone I used to date came back to me. Well, that's, of course, it's Mercury retrograde. That's definitely going to happen. So that's not surprising. I'm feeling anxious and he feels a bit hot and cold. Okay. I'm wondering if you have any advice on how I should act in these few weeks of being together. Yes, 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 girl. You actually asked an incredibly great question, and I want to point out to you in regards from the energetic perspective how you can manage this. And just know that the information that I give you is going to be your choosing to follow or not follow, and there's no judgment, and there's no good or bad, and there's no right or wrong. Nobody here will judge you, and I'm definitely not going to judge you, but I want to bring this up to you from an energetic perspective so you have an idea, right? So your question is, how should I act in these first few weeks of being back together? Well, when you're talking about how you're supposed to act, you're coming from a masculine point of view or a masculine direction. Now, that's not good or bad. It's not yes or no. It's not anything. It's about knowing what your core operational system energetically is. So, when you say act, that's about doing, which is masculine. Okay, if your core is feminine, which it does feel to me like your core energy is feminine, but you're gonna act masculine, there's gonna be a misalignment within yourself. And if it's not showing up yet, it will show up. So the first thing you want to do is you want to really understand what your core is. So just because I'm saying it feels like your core is, hey, Yurika, I see you, just a moment. Um, just because I'm saying your core energy is feminine doesn't mean it is. You have to, you're the only one who really can manage and understand yourself, right? You should always do that no matter what anybody says, psychic, non psychic, it doesn't matter, right? But to me, your core feels feminine. And if you're going to act or do something, you're going to be misaligned with masculine. So that's the first part. The second part is this guy, is his core masculine or is his core feminine? Authentically, we're talking no BS, really down to it. Because if his core is feminine, we're talking about energy, we're not talking about physical biology. We're talking about energy. If his core is feminine and you're going to, hey, call it, I see you, just one moment. If his core is masculine, I'm sorry, is feminine, and you're going to act masculine, you'll have enough polarity for attraction. So there will be longevity, or this will move forward. Okay. But if his core is masculine and your core is feminine, but you're going to act masculine, masculine and masculine are going to repel each other because there's no polarity. So the advice I would give you is to first know what your core is, act accordingly. And if you find it is feminine, again, just because I'm saying it is doesn't mean it is, right? If you find it's feminine, that means you have to act feminine, which means you just have to be and receive. That means you don't have to do anything, which means he has to do all the work. He has to lead and he has to guide you. If you have anxiety, which I'm pretty sure you do because you're watching this show, you're going to have to learn how to manage, balance, and regulate that in relationship, which of course I can teach you, but not in this circumstance. It has to be over a period of time. I can teach you how to manage, regulate, balance, harmonize your energy and how your energy would be with him. But the thing is that you have to know thyself. Okay. So my advice to you is to know thyself and then act accordingly. Right. So understand masculine energy and feminine energy. Okay. Eureka, here we go. I want to leave the yoga class I've been going to for 2 years. How do I go about getting enough exercise if I quit? Well, so yoga isn't I could be wrong, but yoga isn't very cardio-ish. I think it's more muscular, right? Or more I could be wrong. Um, so first of all, you want to know what kind of exercise you want to get. And you can look on the internet and you can just say, okay, what kinds of exercises fulfill that? Um, there's so many different ways that you can get exercise. How do I go about getting enough exercise if I quit? You just do something else. Like you can go for walks. It just might be a different kind of exercise. Or if you want something similar, you might want to try Pilates, right? I'm working on Pilates now just to help with my back and my core and all of that crap. Um, so you might want to just try Pilates. I mean, there's so many. How do I go about getting enough exercise? You take something away and then you fill that void with something else. That to me is the answer to the question. Okay, you just do it. You don't stop just because you're taking a variable away. You continue. Okay. Khalid, last week I felt like I felt overly sensitive. I did one specific replay meditation and experienced a few things. Was what I saw real? Well, it's hard to know. I mean, it's I don't know if the question is clear enough. I think last week I felt like I was overly sensitive. I'm sorry, this is the way you wrote the question. I feel like in a way you want a very specific answer, but you wrote it really vague. And so it's hard for me to get into that. So last week I felt like I felt overly sensitive. I did one specific replay meditation and experienced a few things. Was what I saw real? Well, I think it just depends on what your definition of reality is. I mean, could it be real? Sure. Could it not be real? Sure. I mean, when you think about reality, it's based on your perception. So I'm going to say yes, what you saw was real if what you were experiencing was based on your perception or your point of view. Okay? That's the only way I can answer that question. It's worded a little strange. Okay? Sunflower, thank you for the super chats, guys. Just a reminder, if you do need specific information geared towards you, or you're looking for like guidance or advice that is just for you, not for the group. I'm only for today because I've got clients I have to get to. I'm not going to be accepting, or I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to be answering questions if you super chat. If you super chat, it will after 12:30. It'll be considered a donation, which I very much appreciate. But I have to like wrap up, and I have to make sure I've answered all the questions, so I can get to my clients. Okay. Sunflower, will I get my license for aesthetics in June? Yes, but I feel like something might happen because I heard she'll get it by the skin of her teeth. So it's like it could be something like you're thinking you're not getting it, and then it turns around. There's a surprise or there's a twist in the story or something. Or you'll be asked to do something last minute where you're like, crap, shit. And then you do it and you get it. So there's something very like 11th hour kind of sort of about this. Um yeah. It's almost like you think you're not going to and you are at the very end. Plot twist. There you go. All right. For now, I think I'm caught up with all the super chats, so I can go back and see if there's any general questions. So I feel I may be just feeling anxious. Maybe he ain't being hot or cold. I mean, he could be, but you can't worry about what other people are being. You have to know yourself good enough to know whether you'll put up with something. Florentina, it's happening all so quickly, and I'm going quickly myself. So slow it down, girl. Like, I don't want to just not talk to him some days as I'm not playing, but I want to go so slow down. Why are you letting someone or something else run this for you? Stop thinking you don't have power. Right, Sarah. Do you have any general feelings about how climate change will progress? Is there hope for turning things around, or will humans inevitably ruin Mother Earth? I don't know that you're going to like what I have to say. Here's my take on this, and take it for whatever it's worth, because I actually started experiencing this morning. Different topic, but same kind of idea. All this doom and gloom talk. Um, and all these conversations, first of all, are very separative. Is that a word? Separating, which is the opposite of spirituality, which is all is one, right? Because the all is one idea is this: you have the a body, your soul has a body, your soul has emotions, and your soul has thoughts. When you strip all of that away, what's left? Just the soul, right? And the what science so far can just sort of kind of prove, or like the fastest kind of like moving energy that has any kind of mass to it, according to Einstein, E equals mc squared, right? The M is for mass. Any kind of mass, it would be considered like light, right? Again, we're talking tangibility versus non-tangibility. You take away the body, you take away the thoughts, you take away the feelings, and all you're left is with light, right? So that's why they call you a light being. That's why we're called light beings, right? So if you're in a room with other bodies, you take away all the thoughts, emotions, and feelings, emotions, and the body. It's one big pool of light. All of these light beings together in one room is one. That's the whole concept, or that's the idea of all is one, right? So when we're having these dooms conversations, it usually, I'm not saying all the time, but like with climate control or banking or whatever's going on, especially the media, guys, they want to have this doomsday talk to instill fear, because usually what happens is when someone is fearful, they'll be more apt to follow. Instead of lead, they'll follow, right? So when we're talking, for example, the climate change, do you think it's going to get worse? Do you think it's going to get better? I mean, I will say, from my perspective, does it even freaking matter? Because I get to choose how I want to think, feel, behave, act, respond in regards to it. So you're going to have these scientists that say this. You're going to have these politicians that say this. You're going to have conspiracy theorists that say this. You're going to have this that say this. It's all meant to separate. If you want to call that evil, we can call that evil. So, my perspective, and I'm not going to tell you how to think or feel on this because you are a sovereign being where you get to come up with your own choice and your own decision. And even if it's not mine, it's okay. And I'm not going to push mine on you. And I'm certainly not going to accept you pushing yours on me. I'm going to say, it's going to play out the way it's going to play out. And I'm going to take care of my thinking, my feeling, and my responses and reactions. And I also understand how energy works. And I also understand that that is a timeline or a narrative that is out there. And am I going to choose to feed it or not feed it? Right. So, I don't know. Those are my general feelings about how climate change will progress. It's going to progress based on my perspective, my feelings, my thoughts, my whatever. So, you might be looking for a more concrete answer that I just can't give you because that's not in my realm of knowingness, I guess you can say. Or, I really want to choose the thoughts, the feelings that we live in a very abundant planet. Mother Earth is a being, a consciousness. I'm going to do whatever I can in my power to be the best human that I can be to her. And that's going to be based on my perspective, my outlook, my reality, all of my experiences, all of that. And if something doesn't feel good, I'm going to do my best to choose my way out of that energetic frequency because I know I'm not going to be able to manifest and create the world that I want to live in. So I don't know if that answers your question, but there you go. You're welcome, Florentina. Debbie, let me just make sure I haven't missed any. Oh, okay. I have here, I got to go to I have Hannah and Sunflower. Okay, and just a reminder, after 12:30, any super chats I will not be answering. Okay. Hannah, will I live in the same apartment that I had last year? I feel like there's going to be a change. Oh, you like that answer, Sarah. Wonderful. I feel like there's going to be a change. So here's the thing is you may not live in the same apartment. You might live in the same building or close to it because there's still a familiarity about where you're going to be. And if it actually is the same apartment, there is going to be something very different. I feel familiarity, but I actually feel like there's going to be a change. So you'll have to let me know if you think that's right, or like if I am right, like ultimately what happens, you'll have to let me know. But I kind of feel like there's going to be a change. So because of that feeling, I'm going to gear more towards no, you're not going to be in the same apartment, but you might be in the same building or close to it. Again, there's familiarity and change. Sunflower, when I move out, will it be alone or with a roommate? I don't think you're moving out anytime soon. Hannah, okay, thank you. Comforted with the familiarity at rest. Yeah, let me know. Thank you. Sunflower, I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. My definition of soon could be sooner than your definition of soon. I don't know what your definition of soon is. But I kind of feel like it's not moving in that direction yet because you don't even know. You got to get clarity. I can't answer, like, I can't give you a firm yes or no, like, yes, you'll be with a roommate or no, because there's a lot going on in your mind. Like, there's a lot of jumbledness. Like, do I want a roommate? Like, what are the pros of like, you got to get super clear. Okay. Super, super clear. All right. Just want to make sure I am not Sunflower. That there is a lot I have to do first. So that makes sense. Awesome. Okay, Debbie. Wait, let me just make sure I didn't miss any other super chats. Okay, I didn't miss a super chat. All right, Debbie has a question. How do we really identify our core values if we've always been a people pleaser? Our core values. Okay. That's actually a really great question. Let me see if I can, because when I'm working on this, so the thing is, it's super important to identify your core values, because your values create your reality. And they create your identity. And in order for you to have a reality, you first have to have an identity. So, how do we really ID our core? I feel like you want like a really simple, cut and dry answer, but there is none. It takes inner work, it takes reflection. So, a way to start is to look at in your life experiences, and in your exchanges with others, what do you dislike? So, for example, I'll give you an example, and I'll give you an example in like the romantic world, right? In the dating world, right? Like, I don't like when someone says, "Hey, I'll meet you at 12," and then they show up at 12:30. Like, they're late, right? To me, that's really disrespectful, right? Because I value time. I don't just value my time, I value other people's time, right? So one of my values for me, and it's bigger than just the time thing, for example, and we'll drill down into it and you'll see why this is not just a cut and dry, easy answer. To me, that's an issue of integrity. If you say you're going to do something, you do the best to meet what you say. Mean what you say and say what you mean. So yes, I'm going to meet you at 12 and not showing up to 12:30 in a way is kind of a lie. It's out of alignment. It's not say what you mean what you say, which is how I value integrity. Now, does that mean that doesn't allow for room for mistakes? No. So if you call and you're like, I'm right around the corner and then I got to find parking. I'm running late. I'm sorry. I'll be right there. Okay, this person might show up at 12:15, but there was a recognition of my time and their time. So there's acknowledgement, and they're definitely doing their best to say what they mean and mean what they say. Right. So you have to start looking at a way is like what things anger you, what things piss you off, what things when you're exchanging with other people, what frustrates you. But it's not just, oh, okay, it's this. There's a whole big thing around it, right? So that's where you would start. Okay, Debbie. People pleasing is called the fawning response. It's a survival coping mechanism, which means it's not real, right? So if you're always wanting to please other people, you got to go down to your core authenticity and ask yourself, does this feel good or does this feel bad? Because sometimes there are times where we really authentically feel good serving other people, but then it's not a people pleasing, then it's being of service to others. So the only way to know that is to be really honest with yourself. So authenticity of the self and really understanding your operating system is so key to manifestation. And a lot of manifesting people won't go into all of this because they don't necessarily know. They manifest one time a car and they think they're like professional manifestors or whatever, but that's not the way being human works. So you have to know thyself. I keep going back to know thyself, know thyself. Really know yourself well, know your faults, know your strengths, know your values, because ultimately, in order to have a way or a system to navigate being human as a spiritual being is through values, because you have to live the values that you are. Not that you like, not that you have. So for me, since integrity is my number one value, I have to do my best to live a life of integrity. which means I got to do as much as I can to make good on my word. It does also have to do with my upbringing. I was raised with false promises, a lot of false promises. Yeah, this will happen. Yes, this will happen. So that's how that kind of showed up for me as integrity. Mean what you say what you mean. If you say you're going to do something, do it. And if you can't do it, at least do your best to try and do it, right? Because there's no such thing as perfection, but you damn well better try because I know I'm damn well trying, right? So I hope that helps, Debbie. Debbie saying that helps. Been working on my value list and how I actually feel versus how other feels. Those are two different things, though. Your value list isn't necessarily how you feel. Values are a way of life. Put it this way, values will change in terms of experience as you evolve, but there's no flexibility in the value. Emotions will change as you evolve, but there's more flexibility in an emotion. So emotions are momentary in the now moment. Values, you don't really budge your value. You're not like, well, in this situation you can be integritous and in that one not. No, there's no flimsy flexibility with that. So what you're saying is kind of two different things in that, which is not wrong. Well, it's not that it's not wrong or wrong. It's just two different things. I hope that makes sense. So, all righty, guys. If nobody else has any more general questions, we may just be, and you're welcome. Good. I'm glad. Good, Debbie. Cool. I think we're going to end because I have some clients to get to. Definitely done with the psychic one-on-one personal questions for today. But if there's a general thing that you want to know, speak now or forever hold your peace. Eureka, I relate. I have the same value as you when it comes to keeping promises. Thanks, Terrie. Thanks, everyone. One of the things that I do, my niece and nephew get frustrated with me because they always say, hey, will you do this? Can we do this? Da, da, da. And I say to them, well, you know what? I'm going to do my best to try, but I'm not going to make a promise. I was raised with promises not kept. So when something and they're like, why do you always say that, Auntie? And I'm like, because I don't want to disappoint you if I can't make good on it. I mean, I'm just flat out honest. I'm like, I don't want to upset you. I don't want to hurt you. So there have been times where I haven't been able to keep my word, but because I prefaced it with, let's see, I can't make a promise, they're not angry or upset if I can't do something. And they're so grateful and happy when I do something. Now, most of the time, I would say 85% of the time, I can make it happen. But my thing is like, I know what it's like to be disappointed over and over and over and over by unkept promises. That to me, that's an issue of integrity that I really need to do the best that I can, which is why I'm very, 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 very strict with my office policies too. If you ever have a chance to go look at my office policies. There's no room for budging because I respect your time and I respect my time and I have integrity. So I have to do the best that I can to actually live the life through that lens of that value, right? And each and every one of us has a different soul makeup, a different soul contract, different karma. So, the whole journey of humanness, of being human, is to understand that, to learn and to evolve. But we can only do that when we have our earth suit because it gives us the tangibility to do that, right? Otherwise, we're just this light being, which as much peace as it brings, it doesn't bring evolution. It's just knowingness and wisdom from all the past lives that we've had, but it doesn't evolve us. It's just like, hey, I'm here and this is what I've learned. Makes a sense of? So, all right, you guys, I've got to get ready for more work. Thank you guys for joining me. I believe I have to look at my calendar. I'm pretty sure we'll be doing meditation Friday. I know last week I had to was sometimes I get these last minute commitments and it's like, God, can we please not do it? So try my best, do my best to make it Friday, but I believe I can make it Friday for meditation where we can connect to our higher soul. And in about 2 weeks from now, things are going to get a little wonky because my dog is having surgery and I need to make sure that I'm tending to her. So we'll see what goes on. But thank you guys. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week. Stay connected. Take care of that beautiful, wonderful heart of yours. Okay. Take care. Stay connected.